Friends, fighters, and future-focused souls, gather close. There comes a moment in every journey of growth, in every story of self-respect, when you have to make the most powerful, silent, and profound decision you will ever make. The decision to walk away, not in a blaze of drama, not with slamming doors and shouted words, but in the quiet stillness of knowing your own worth. There is a profound and often misunderstood power in silence, in emptiness, in the space where something once was. We are taught from a young age to fight for what we want, to voice our grievances, to communicate until we are blue in the face. We believe with a stubborn and hopeful heart that our presence, our constant, reliable, and willing presence, is the key to making someone understand our worth. We think that if we just show up one more time, love a little harder, give a little more, or explain ourselves with greater clarity, the scales will fall from their eyes. We operate on the belief that our unwavering dedication will be the mirror in which they finally see the reflection of our value, and by extension the error of their ways. This is a noble but ultimately flawed strategy. Why? Because the human psyche is a complex landscape, often governed by patterns of comfort and habit. When you are always there, you become a part of the furniture of another person's life, expected, reliable, and, tragically, often overlooked. Your constancy, which you intended as a testament to your loyalty, becomes their new normal. The brain is wired to notice change, not consistency. It registers the drop in temperature, not the steady warmth. It hears the sudden silence, not the persistent hum of the background noise. Your love, your effort, your emotional labor, when it is a constant, becomes that persistent hum. It is appreciated only in its absence, not in its relentless presence. This is the core of the principle. Your absence is the ultimate teacher. When you remove yourself, you do not just take your physical self away. You withdraw your emotional support, your intellectual contributions, your laughter, your calming presence, your problem-solving skills, your light. You create a vacuum, and nature, as we know, abhors a vacuum. That empty space begins to pull at the reality they have taken for granted. The things you used to do no longer get done. The emotional cushion you provided is suddenly gone, and they feel the hard floor of reality. The phone doesn't light up with your good morning text. The Friday night plans are no longer a given. The person they could vent to without reciprocation is no longer on the other end of the line. In this void, the echo of your worth becomes deafening. It is in the silence that they finally hear the memory of your voice. It is in the darkness that they finally see the shape of the light you provided. Your absence forces them to confront a question they never had to ask when you were present. Why is it so quiet? Why does this feel so empty? Comes an evening reverage. God Erd is the UTTERED. Was a us your reoperator of the PRE pays. She had SENC, could never cocked as. Because asterisk they asterisk were the one filling that space. Because asterisk they asterisk were the source of that light. This is not about playing games or employing manipulative tactics. This is a fundamental shift from seeking external validation to enacting internal respect. The decision to leave, to make your absence felt, is not a strategic move designed to elicit a reaction. It is, first and foremost, an act of salvation for your own soul. You are not creating a vacuum for them, you are creating space for you. You are declaring, through the most powerful language there is action, that your energy is a finite and precious resource, and you will no longer pour it into a vessel with a hole in the bottom. The wake-up call, then, is a byproduct of your self-respect, not the primary goal. The goal is your own peace. The goal is the reclamation of your own spirit. The beautiful, almost poetic side effect is that in choosing yourself, You deliver the clearest, most unambiguous message they will ever receive. Words can be argued with, promises can be broken, pleas can be ignored, but the stark, unarguable reality of your absence, that cannot be debated. It's simply asterisk is asterisk. Think of a plant that has been growing in the shade, relying on filtered, indirect light. It survives, but it does not thrive. It becomes leggy, straining for a sustenance that is just out of reach. When you, as that source of light, remove yourself entirely, the plant is forced to confront its own situation. It must either wither, proving it was never strong enough to survive on its own, or it must finally, desperately, stretch its roots and leaves toward a new source of sustenance, fundamentally changing how it exists in the world. Your absence is the catalyst for that transformation. It forces a choice between growth or decay, a choice that was never necessary while your filtered light was still available. This is why your absence is a more powerful teacher than your presence could ever be. Your presence allows for the comfort of the status quo. It enables the cycle of taking without giving, of receiving without appreciating. Your presence provides the very resources they use to undervalue you. But your absence, it cuts off the supply, it removes the safety net, it forces a moment of reckoning not with you, but with themselves. It asks them to look in the mirror and ask, what did I lose, and why did I not see its worth when I had it? The curriculum of this lesson is written in the empty chair where you used to sit, in the silent phone that used to ring with your call, in the hollow feeling in their life where your friendship, your love or your partnership once resided. It is a harsh curriculum, but a necessary one. And while it is being taught to them, you are already elsewhere, learning a new lesson of your own. What it feels like to be free, to be valued, and to finally understand that the most powerful statement you will ever make is not with your words, but with your peaceful, resolute, and life-giving departure. The most treacherous part of this entire journey begins the moment you decide to walk away. You have made the courageous choice, you have created the vacuum, you have delivered the wake-up call through your absence. And now a new, more insidious temptation emerges, the urge to linger by the empty space you created, waiting to see if it worked. This is the siren song that has shipwrecked countless attempts at liberation. It is the quiet, compulsive scroll through social media, searching for a hint of their regret. It is the ear pressed against the metaphorical door, listening for the echo of your worth in their words to others. It is the constant, draining internal monologue. Have they realized it yet? Are they sorry? Do they miss me? This fixation, this need for external confirmation that your departure mattered, is the very chain that keeps you tethered to the dock you were meant to sail away from. This is the critical, non-negotiable truth you must sear into your understanding. Their realization is not your responsibility. Their awakening is not your project to manage. The moment you make your absence contingent upon their reaction, you have handed the reins of your emotional well-being back to the very person who failed to hold them with care. You have swapped the prison of your presence for the prison of your expectation. You are no longer free. You are just on a longer leash, and you are constantly checking to see if they are holding the other end. This vigil by the void is a form of self-betrayal. It is the energy of your future being siphoned off to power a surveillance operation on your past. Why is this so dangerous? Because it places the validation of your worth, the very worth you just bravely acted upon by leaving, back into their hands. You are essentially saying, I know I am valuable, but I need you to confirm it for me to really believe it. This completely undermines the power of your initial act. Walking away was the final, definitive statement. Looking back for a reaction is taking out an eraser and scribbling over that statement until it's blurry and meaningless. The power was in the action itself, the quiet, resolute closing of a door. The moment you peek back through the keyhole, the power evaporates. You are no longer the one who left. You are the one who is waiting to be invited back. Their process of understanding, their journey toward regret or enlightenment, is their own private landscape. It is a path they must walk alone, just as you are now walking your own path toward healing. You cannot control it, you cannot curate it, and you certainly cannot hurry it along. More importantly, you should not want to. Their wake-up call is their business, because your business is now elsewhere. Your business is the life that is unfolding in front of you, not the one smoldering in your rear-view mirror. Every ounce of mental and emotional energy you spend monitoring their progress is an ounce of energy stolen from the construction of your new reality. You are trying to build a new house while constantly running back to look at the ashes of the old one. Consider the metaphor of a gardener. You have just, with great effort, uprooted a plant that was not thriving, a plant that was diseased, that was not flowering, that was draining nutrients from the soil without giving anything back. You have made the difficult decision to remove it to save the rest of your garden. Your responsibility now is to tend to the empty soil, to nourish it, to let the sun reach it, to prepare it for new, vibrant seeds that will actually grow. Monitoring their realization is like digging up the soil every day to see if the old, discarded plant has started to magically heal itself. Not only is this a futile waste of your energy, but it also prevents the soil from ever recovering. It keeps the wound fresh and open. There is a profound peace that comes from releasing the need to know. It is the peace of finality. It is the understanding that the chapter is closed, not because they slammed it shut with a dramatic apology or a tearful plea, but because you chose to close it. The story is over, the lesson has been delivered. What they do with that lesson, whether they frame it and hang it on their wall or throw it in the trash, is a reflection of their character, not a measure of your worth. Your value was established the moment you decided you deserved more. It was cemented by your courageous exit. Nothing that happens after that point can add to or subtract from that fundamental truth. This is the ultimate test of your self-worth. Can you trust your own assessment of the situation enough to walk away and never look back for confirmation? Can you be your own witness? Can you validate yourself? When you stop needing them to prove that you were important, you truly internalize the fact that you are important. The closure does not come from their acknowledgement, it comes from your acceptance. You accept that the relationship was what it was. You accept that they are who they are. You accept that you gave what you could and it was not reciprocated. And in that acceptance, you find a power far greater than any reaction they could have given you. Let them have their wake-up call in private. Let them wrestle with the silence you left behind. Let them have their middle of the night realizations and their conversations with friends. That is their journey. Your journey is happening in the bright why, open space of your own life. You are learning new things, meeting new people, rediscovering old parts of yourself that you had neglected. You are moving forward. The greatest revenge, as the saying goes, is a life well lived, but it's not really about revenge. It's about reclamation. By refusing to look back, you are reclaiming every single moment of your present and your future. You are declaring that your life is no longer a reaction to theirs, but a profound, beautiful, and independent action of your own creation. So let the wake-up call ring, but you don't have to be there to hear it. You have already awoken to yourself, and that is the only alarm that truly matters.